Hi everybody. Welcome to the Quaive segment in its 25th edition of World Plone Day. I want to show you something exciting, that we're not shipping just in Quaive, but also in vanilla Plone. As open source people, we are aware of the importance of digital sovereignty, of having full control over the technology that we're using, of not being dependent on big corporate software vendors. That's why I'm not using Microsoft Office. I don't even have it on my computer. I don't need to. We have LibreOffice. That's not only a very nice Office suite by itself, it also reads and writes the Microsoft Office file formats. That's all handy dandy when you're working on your local environment in your own laptop, on your own files, but it translates poorly to the online environment of websites. For a long time, the best that we had in the Plone world to address that is the XOP editor, external editor. That uses WebDev to connect a Plone site to a local installation on your local PC, be it Microsoft Office or LibreOffice. It's clunky and buggy, to be honest, but worst of all, it requires the installation of a plugin on the local PC, and that scales poorly if you're trying to manage a several hundred people internet or several thousand people internet. Meanwhile, Microsoft has Office 365 and Google provides Google Docs. We're not behind the competition, we're not even competing. In Quaive, the situation has historically been a bit better. We are shipping with an only Office integration that provides a web-based editing UI directly in the browser within Quaive. The UI is getting a bit outdated though, and we never got around to backporting this integration to Plone, sorry. We've been looking around for an alternative with a more polished user interface. Collabora Online is an open source online Office suite based on LibreOffice. It enables web-based collaborative real-time editing of word processing documents, spreadsheets, presentations, and vector graphics. Collabora Online is developed by Collabora, which is one of the main commercial partners contributing to the development of LibreOffice itself. It's all open source, and for larger installations it's recommended to upgrade to a paid account to get a service level agreement. Collabora Online provides a well-documented API that is based on the Office 365 API. I'm happy to announce today the release of Collective.Collabora. Collective.Collabora is a Plone add-on that makes Collabora Online document editing available directly in Plone. Let me show you how this works. The demo is recorded in Quaive, but it works the same in vanilla Plone. Say I open a workspace that has a file. Now I want to do that again. Let me show you how this works. The demo is recorded in Quaive, but it works the same in Plone. Quaive uses the Collective.Collabora integration under the hood. Say I have a file in a workspace in Quaive or in Plone. I go to the place where the file is stored. I go to the file. I then have an edit button that opens the Collabora Online editor directly within Quaive or Plone. I can now edit the document directly in my browser. I can change the wording here. Something else I want to improve. But best of all, we can also collaboratively edit this document. More people can log in and we can have a session, a real-time editing session, or perhaps we have a meeting where we are storing meeting notes. In this case, I can see that Dolly proposes a change to the document, and I can actually improve that change as we're doing that. Let me just change the wording there a bit. And then I see that Christian also left a comment. So let me look at that comment, and well, I'm fine with that, so I can just mark that as resolved, and then I'm done. It's important to note that there's a save button, but that's just UI candy. Everything is auto-saved, and then it's stored in Plone, subject to the normal Plone or Quaive security machinery. Collective.Collabora works out of the box in Plone 6.1 and Plone 6.0. Let me just give you a quick demo. I uploaded a file here, and I now have an open action, which opens the Collabora editor, and I'm immediately in. I can change stuff. It also works in Plone 5, where I can do the same thing. Use the open button, and bang, I'm in the editor. It even works on Plone 4, on Python 2, with archetypes. There's my file, there's my open button, and it just works. Task coverage is close to 100%. To install Collective Collabora, you need to add it to your build-out and run build-out as usual. And to actually make it work, you will need a Collabora Online server running in your development environment or in your production deployment if you want to do that. And we are shipping in Collective Collabora a Docker Compose that provides a working install out of the box that you can use as reference. For the call flow, you need to envision a triangle. And this is, so the user opens the browser, which opens the Collabora edit view in Plone, which is provided by Plone. And that view loads an iframe, which itself loads Collabora Online service. And that's where the editing experience happens, in that iframe. Plone passes to the iframe a Java Web Token for authentication and the URL of the file that's being opened. And that's where the third connection comes in. Right at the bottom of the diagram, the Collabora Online server contacts Plone directly outside of the browser to fetch the file. It authenticates itself with the Java Web Token, and it's subject to all the normal security constraints that we have there, the security verification that we have in Plone. After you've done editing, or while you're editing and there's an autosave, that again uses that third connection directly between Collabora and Plone. Collabora contacts Plone again and submits the file for storing, which is again checked for security and then stored in Plone. Nothing is persistently stored in Collabora. It's a transient storage which is fully sandboxed, and all the actual storage happens in Plone itself. Collabora Online integration now works in Plone Classic and in Quaive. You can edit Office documents directly in your browser. You can use this add-on as is, or use it as a building block for a custom integration, for example in Volto. I want to express a big thank you to Johannes Ragam for figuring out the Collabora Online API and providing a working proof of concept. Syslab.com sponsored that initial proof of concept, and Emio has sponsored the work to turn this into a production-ready release for both Quaive and Vanilla Plone. You can find Collective Collabora on Pipey and GitHub. The Quaive integration is available as part of Quaive, see quaive.com. For support in these packages, please come and talk to Quaive or Emio. Thank you, and see you at the Plone conference in Finland, if not before.